from Save the Rust, and yeah, we did it again. Bought a couple more trikes this week. So if you've been following, we've been working on this 1982 200 Big Red right behind me. While right now we're waiting on parts. So then a buddy this week called me and asked me if I was interested in this 1984 200M, and hadn't been used in almost 30 years. And of course I had to go look at it and bought that one too. So let's go through all this, and I'm going to show you what the plan is for these bikes. This is a 1984 200M. One of my friends, this was his. He rode this from 1984 to the mid 90s, and it was on the family farm. And then, like he said, sometime in the mid 90s, it started with a carburetor issue, and they parked it in the barn, and it's been in the same spot for 30 years. So yesterday I went down there to take a look at it, bought it. You can see on the front wheel where it was sitting, the amount of dust on here is unbelievable, but it turns over. So, you know, one of the things about this bike is that the fenders are in really good shape, and but it is missing a headlight. So let's go through what we have to do on this bike. So obviously it needs a thorough cleaning. You can see the pull cord is not recoiling back, so we'll have to deal with that. Obviously we'll go through the carb, clean the carb, change the oil, you know, flush the tank out, give it a thorough wash, and then see if we can get it running. It does have electric start. There's no battery in it, and even if there was, it wouldn't be any good. Needs a couple boots. We got to weld up. This is the only spot that's cracked. One little spot there. Tank's fairly clean. Seat's in decent shape, but you know, it needs a thorough cleaning, like you wouldn't believe, right? So not sure what else is wrong with it other than, you know, the key switch is right here. You can see it's missing the cover and stuff. The choke is not moving. You know, it needs love. It needs it needs some work. But I don't know. It looks like fun. So if you're kind of wondering, what is this guy doing? You know, in the last month I bought 3 trikes, plus I was working on one already for a friend. When you get into some of these other bikes, the cost for parts, the time that you invest is a lot, and you don't always get to, you know, ride them as much as you want. Now, for what I paid for this, I literally paid for the handle on the back of the box. It was the same price. It was like, this trike was $500. That bar on the back of the survey car was $525. So this is cheap. You know, when you start getting into it, yeah, I'm going to be into it for another $600 with parts. But when it's done, you know, I can go play around in the yard. And with that one, Waylon can come play in the yard with me. And that one, well, my brother can use that too. Or whoever wants to go for a ride, you know what I mean? So these are cheap entertainment. Yeah, they're dangerous, they can be, but you know, respect the machine and you'll be okay with it. So this one, you know, if you've been following, we're waiting on parts for it. So that one's stalled. Just like this one's a little bit stalled. We got a couple things we got to get and do. But this stuff is like, you know, kind of the easy, kind of fun thing, right? You know, changing it up, right? All I've been doing is Harleys and a Norton and, you know, other stuff for quite a few years. So this is like, get to play with some stuff again, you know? Like, this is gonna be like, not that the Harleys aren't fun, trust me, they are, but this is like play around the yard kind of fun, you know? So this is, if you're trying to figure out what the heck he's doing, well, that's what I'm doing. You know, I just want to be able to go with my kid and whoever else and go for a ride and have fun on these old trikes. So let's get these two all cleaned up. So we finally got the 1984 200M on the lift. So we have a extensive list of things to replace. So I'll go through them as I'm showing you the bike. So we got to change the front motor mounts. Brake cables, get them loose or replace them. Choke cables, get them loose or replace them. Both brake levers are broken, so we have to replace those. Not sure if there's even a brake drum in the rear brake housing, so we got to check that. There is some movement in the back axle, back and forth. We're going to replace the toolbox lid or the complete box. I have a new toolbox here that's in really good shape with that new pile of stuff we got. We have a headlight that we got to do a little bit of repair on and then install it and make sure that it works. We got a new keyed switch. The other one is broken. Look at the forks. Possibly you have to do the bearings in it because if you look up close up here, there is no top nut. Why is it missing? I don't know. We have to add another bolt through the frame for the motor mount. Remove the carbs and clean. Remove the gas tank and clean. Check rear end, we already said that. Install new header or just the cover since it's missing. Get the rear brake pedal working since this one is tied up here. And so this thing has 0 brakes right now. Check the air filter. Check some bolts on the rims. It looks like they installed bolts instead of like the actual carriage bolts, so might have to replace one of the hubs. We have extra hubs, so we can do that. Check the chain and basically get both brakes working and, oh yeah, get it running. Lots of stuff to do. So in the end, though, we paid $400 for it, and you know, good plastics, tires hold air. I don't even know how this one still holds air. I got, you know, compressed down, but this thing, you can see where it's sat. That's where it's sat, and like, there's chunks of rubber missing, but somehow it holds air. So, but we do have an extra wheel for it if we need to. Yeah, we're just you know, evaluating everything. We need a new throttle cable because this one doesn't move. We need a choke cable because this one doesn't move. So let's get on it. Got a bit of play. We'll see if we have a better one, but at least it's coming off. So this is the noise I was hearing. Shouldn't do that. So it's gonna be on that side, but everything turns. I don't hear the, there's a little bit of play here. We have a new kit for bearings, so we'll probably do it anyway since we're already at this point. So one of the things I noticed earlier when I was looking at this thing, there's a bolt missing going down here, like at the back of the motor, piece of frame. For some reason, there's studs missing that hold the motor in place, so not a good thing. But I don't see any, like, thank God, I don't see any like broken cases or anything. So. Yeah. Just like I thought. There's no brake drum. There's no brake pad. There's, I don't know what this is. Okay. I guess we'll have to see if we have any of this in stock. This is not what I was hoping for, but I had a feeling that this was the case because it's just no actuating going on. No. So we just managed to get this off. We just heated it up a lot, and what this is right here is a seal for the back axle. And what they did is they cut off the brake drum, pulled all the brake shoes out. That's all gone. That wasn't there at all. So you can see how there's nothing holding this in. You know, what holds this in is the outer cover, and it uses the brake drum as the spacer. So we're going to have to find a new brake drum and brake pads and etc. So tonight we're back on the trike. Just pulled the axle out. We're gonna have to replace the chain. It's she's crusty. So the next step is we're gonna I've looked at the bearings, I felt them, and they feel pretty good. It almost feels like a little bit of a bad spot. Like you can just kind of, you know, as you go back and forth, just feel a little rough. So that's just the perfect excuse for me to replace them. So we're gonna do that. We're still waiting on a brake drum. We're trying to find a brake drum for this one because of course it was all cut off, and we're gonna need another outer brake plate because it's rotten through. See the hole right there? Yeah, that ain't gonna be a good seal to hold the water out. So now we're gonna take off the seat. I'm going to be probably taking off the muffler also. There's a little bit of rot underneath, but we can fix that up. Still haven't figured out if it even runs, but either way, we're going to get this one back on the road. We're going to pull the air cleaner cover off, take a look inside. We're obviously missing 2 bolts in the back, so we'll have to scrounge a few of those up. Yeah. She said better days. We'll replace that. Inside's pretty clean though. So while I'm at this, taking things apart, I always, well, always, I've only done this a couple times, but I've learned to address these bolts, and then there's two on the bottom. One's the adjuster down here, and the other side, and then the drain for the brake. Just take them, loosen them all off, you know, lubricate them, get them all so they move easily while everything is apart. So while we're doing this, I was trying to tighten up this specific bolt, and what was happening is this nut on the other side, which is usually welded to this plate, was broken loose, so I couldn't tighten this up. So because we're addressing this now and not after everything's apart, I was able to take the two bolts off, the two mounting bolts off the inner chain guard, pull this past, and now I'll be able to just come in and tack this up with the welder. Got one fender off. Back rail off. Got the fender off. Now the toolbox just comes off. We got a better one. This one's broken in half, but we will use the taillight box probably. We're gonna pull off the recoil since it's obviously not working properly. We're gonna have to pull the neutral indicator little button first. So that little indicator is held on by a little C-clip there. See if we can get this off. There we go. Now that comes off, and we can figure out what's wrong with this. Guess it'd help if I took out that bolt. Yeah, that comes off a lot easier. So we got the muffler off. You can see right here it's been welded a few times, but we'll fix it up. And then you can see here it's not that ugly, not that nice. And looks pretty blocked in there actually. Not sure what it's supposed to look like, but we'll figure it out. So now time to pull the carb off. Well, we got the air filter box off, and there's supposed to be a clamp right here on the end of that little rubber spout, but there wasn't. That's just how that goes with when you're working on old stuff. Sometimes the people before you didn't put the parts back on. So we got the top of the carb off here, this, you know, and just got to take off the choke cable. Well, we're at that point. We're not taking it any farther down than that, I believe. So we're going to start fixing the parts, rebuilding the parts, and getting it back on the road. So I hope you enjoyed that. Again, this isn't our normal kind of thing that we work on, but you know, every bike you build, every bike you repair, restore, whatever the case may be, is another one back on the road. This is no different. It's just something a little different from what we're used to doing. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, it's a lot cheaper than a Harley. So anyway, this is Keith from Say to Russ. This is who we are, this is what we do. We get old bikes back on the road and back on the trails with this 1984 Honda 200M. Have a great day.